Bonjour mes amis, this is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki, and this is Season 13, War number 9. So this is actually the last war of the season, as I'm sure everyone knows, but it's a very interesting one indeed. I had to start off the war though by buying another set of the big boost, so I'm trying to use the big boost pretty much every war, just because they are the best advantage you can have in these difficult fights. And so luckily I usually can just get through using one set of big boost each war, so I think this is only the second time I purchased them, which is okay. You get a lot from deals too. So I'm going in with a slightly different team. You can see here we're facing ASR, which is a really good alliance, and one that I feel like we probably beat 2 out of 3 times. I'm going with a slightly different team, so instead of having Medusa, I'm coming with Spider-Gwen. So I'm backup and then path 9, and it turns out the need for backup was against node 20, where there's Dr. Doom, so a new character just in the game, and he's been placed on this node, of course rank 5, awakened, and really powerful. We'd actually been talking about him in the line chat about where would be a great place to put him, and everyone agreed node 20 would be the perfect place. So we've already had 2 deaths to him, and I'm going in there to try to save the last attack points we can get from him, and so off I go. So this node 20 is a pretty difficult node. It is unstoppable, there's brute force, there's this interesting power gain, I can't remember what it's called, but they gain power really quick up to the SP2 and then it slows down a lot. And so I'm ready to go in and fight against him. So I'm going to take Spider-Gwen, and the reason why Spider-Gwen was chosen for this is because the unstoppable buff and also her slow debuff interacts with his defense and doesn't allow him to proc his aura. And so we thought this would be probably one of the best matchups. So of course, no sense in wasting those big boosts. I put them on and then get ready to fight, and I think about maybe using a gray boost too, and in the end, of course, I decide to use a invulnerability boost just because I figured that'd be perfect to help me get through this fight. So I've been dueling him a lot, and so I sort of knew what I wanted to do, and the fight goes pretty much exactly as I planned it. So I want to get a parry and get my slow on him, so I do that, and then I'm just going to attack him sort of like normal. You can see he's gaining power really quickly. I probably should bait his SP1, which is easier to deal with, but I go ahead and push him to an SP2, figuring that I can deal with it. And so I try to block that, and I try to dodge the second, and oh my god, look at that incinerate damage. That is crazy, but I feel okay. I'm keeping the fight. So I get a slow debuff on, and then something happens here, and I just absolutely get wrecked, even though I was getting parries. So we rewatch this. So he has a parry here, and okay, that acted like it should be. I get my slow debuff on him. You see he doesn't have anything, no aura or anything like that. He does get unstoppable. I parry again, but it doesn't stop him. And so of course I back off. And so I had to realize it. I parried him again, but this time I thought it was working for sure. And of course I try to attack him, and he just smacks me and I die. And I really don't know why I died, because it doesn't seem like my parry should have not worked. And so I quickly go over to his abilities and try to see if there's something I can see that would make sense. And it doesn't look like his signature ability does it, or his armor. So looking at his basic attacks, is there any way for him to get stun immune? I mean, it's a pretty complicated champion, but I still don't see anything. I had no debuffs on me. He didn't have his aura up at all. The special 2 that he threw is actually pretty short description. Basically just says that he'll put on, the incinerates. And so, yeah, I really don't understand, to be honest, why I died there. I thought maybe it had something to do with the node, so I checked back on the node and tried to see. I mean, you got the unstoppable, the power focus, the brute force, but nothing seems to indicate why he should be immune to parry. And so it's always difficult. I mean, you have a complicated node with a complicated character, and I'm not sure, again, if there was a reason why those parries should have not worked, or if it was just like some type of mistake with all the complications of that character node. So I heal Spider-Gwen back up, and I go in and finish that fight, but I forgot to record it. So yeah, that was I don't know, that was disappointing. I feel like I shouldn't have died there, but maybe there's a reason. And everyone is always so good who watches my videos about helping me and giving me good information, good advice. So maybe someone will explain why that didn't work. So now I'm on path 9. I have my usual team, so I either have to use Emma or Mysterio for each of these fights. I'm going against Spider-Gwen here, and Spider-Gwen, you know, all these evading champions are always annoying to me because I'm always worried that they're going to you know, evade and just absolutely beat me. So I have my big boost on. I'm thinking maybe to use a gray boost, but in the end I decide not to. And I'm going to go in with Emma Frost just because she's pretty good at dealing with evades. I mean, her telepathic form, of course, totally shuts down evade, and her diamond form means if she gets hit in that form, she has a pretty good damage resistance. So I feel like this is the better of the two choices of characters. And so my goal is, again, just try to watch out for the evade, like throw 3 and 4 combos, maybe use my heavy because the heavy doesn't give much power. So I'm going in, just trying to be conservative. There's an evade there, but it's alright, it works out okay. Trying to be more careful when playing around evades, just to not get hit. And I start throwing the heavy just because I don't want it to get a whole lot of power. I'm in telepathic form, but you see again, my Sig is such high level with her that even blocked hits, you know, I can't remember, it's like if something does more than 2% of my maximum health, I think, she goes into diamond form, so she's always going to diamond form. Got my SP2 ready, and I sort of miss it and sort of hit it. So she evaded the first part, but not the second. And that seems strange to me too, because when she throws her specials, I believe she turns into telepathic form right before she throws them. So I don't know if she evaded me or if I just threw it too soon after she lost her stun, and then she got hit on as she came in by the second part. No, but then I do it again, throw my SP2, this one works great, and now she's practically dead. I'm taking very little damage in this fight, and that's the end. And so maybe I should have done a one-hit combo first before I threw my SP2, but of course then I'm always worried about her evading because then I'm not in telepathic form. So yeah, I'll rewatch that and see exactly what happened. And so my last fight is a 6-star awakened Mysterio, and so luckily he's only level 1, and again I always have the choice of trying to figure out who I'm going to fight with. He does have the defensive tactic, which will affect him because he is a metal champion. I decided to take in Mysterio. I feel like Mysterio versus Sub-Zero seems like a good matchup. I mean, he's poison immune Mysterio, which is good, which means if I somehow got poisoned, that'd be okay. And he also, I don't know, he's also, I feel like, a pretty powerful character, so I figured this would be a good fight. I guess my goal was to try to, of course, get up to my SP3 because I can do lots of damage and just be careful. I fought Mysterio a few times as a mini-boss. I feel pretty comfortable fighting him, but you can see I'm going to make a few mistakes in this. So everything's going fine, you know, again, just fading away. I missed the dodge on the SP1, and ooh, okay, so I've taken a lot of damage already. I'm a little worried because I've lost a lot of damage. He hasn't taken too much, but again, I'm just trying to be calm in my plan. Get hit again, though. Getting called on the dash back, so, you know, when I get hit, I get really nervous, and that always makes it tough. So here, I just totally blocked the SP1. I'm back in the corner, which makes me a little nervous, but, you know, now I'm just going to try to dodge the heavies, which is fine. I counterattack the heavy because I see the SP1 damage reflector is down, but I get hit again by the heavy, and so yeah, this fight has gone pretty poorly. If this was a higher ranked champion, you know, I probably would be dead, so I'm pretty lucky he's only rank 1. Get my SP3, that does huge damage, and then, you know, he's indestructible, and so I sort of just hit into that. I'd rather have him do his SP2 because that's much more evadable, but now once the indestructible ends, you know, I'm hitting so hard, like 4,000, 2,000 for my medium and light, and I destroy him. So yeah, that fight was okay. You know, I think I'm lucky again that he was a lower ranked one, but I survived, and that's what matters. So that's actually the end of the war for me. I do want to talk a little bit about the end of the season, and so I really think it was the absolute best decision they could have made. I mean, every decision was going to have its pros and cons, but ending the season and choosing a war that had been affected was the perfect decision, I think. And the fact that we gained our full season rewards for just 6 wars, I think makes a nice balance of that. And up until those 6 wars, everyone had played as honestly as they could play, because there hadn't strange happened in the game. So it's unfortunate. I would say that I'm thankful the season's over in some ways, just because war is always stressful and the off season is always nice and relaxing. I was prepared for another week of fights, and so I wouldn't have minded that too much. We pretty much had Masters secured, and then there was no way we're gonna get top 3, but also I don't think there was any way we're gonna fall out Masters either. So I think it was pretty safe for Loki where we ended up. But overall, it was an interesting season. I think as these new champions get added, it's really fascinating to see how they work on defense. So we had a death to Gully 2099 on a node, and it's just so hard because, again, these new champions are much more complicated than the old champions, and they're on these nodes, which of course are also fairly complex. And yeah, it just makes for the defenders in Alliance War really challenging, especially since you can't ever practice on them until you actually get into the war. So yeah, a lot of theory crafting needs to go on, which is part of the fun, and it's interesting too, but only if everything works correctly. So I'm really interested if anyone has any insight on my Doom fight. And other than that, that will be the end of this season, and I might make some more war videos in the off season. I'm not sure, but let me just see how that goes. But I've enjoyed making videos and had a really fun this season. Followed a lot of interesting fights and just had a good time. So look forward to seeing you in my next video or live stream. This is Enzo Eigen, the Alliance War Loki, wishing everyone a good day, tschüss, and bonne journée. Bye bye.